Alright, I need to cut a journal 750 thousandths wide. Perfect! On the Atlas lathe, trying to get exact measurements on your distances in case you need to cut a journal or just a specific depth that you need to go on this on your workpiece. It's very hard to put a dial indicator on this side. Now, I've seen lots of videos on YouTube. I've read books about mounting a dial indicator here. They do make smaller face dial indicators. The issue that I have is more along the lines of getting it under here and the distance between the carriage and the tip of the indicator, the plunger. If it were over here, it would be just fine, but I can't read it, and that's an issue, especially on these larger Atlas lathes. Like others of this size, the headstock is pretty large and sticks over top of the ways about 1 3/4 inches, and then when you take the lever for the back gear drive, you're looking at almost 4 inches that it sticks over. So trying to put a dial indicator on this side is near impossible with getting a good reading. And I've looked at tilting it like this, but this handle is still in the way. I did make this attachment and it fits perfectly on this side. So I've learned to adapt this with just a slight tighten here. We can make this a little more rigid. And bring in, and I can bring it in. You're looking at the inner dial. I can bring it in past the amount of distance that I need. So if I need to go 750 thousandths, I can go to 800 thousandths on the dial, tighten it down, and I don't need to be on 0 because I can change my 0. Change my 0 and it's nice and rigid. Tighten the bezel, and now moving 750 thousandths is merely just a matter of moving in 750 thousandths. That works. I want to be able to stop at 750 thousandths. So it would be ideal if I had an Atlas lathe work stop that is mounted right here. I do not have that. That did not come with this. I don't really want to buy one. I watched several videos. The one that inspired me the most, of course, is Mr. Pete Tubal Cain, Mr. Pete 222 on YouTube. He does an incredible job of explaining everything Atlas lathe. He has an entire series of Atlas lathe videos. I will link those in the description. He produced a copy or a mimic of a work stop that I am going to produce. I think the hardest part that I'm going to have in making this is this dial right here. And turning the dial's no worry to me. It requires some knurls. The hard part is going to be the graduations that we put on this, and that's what I'm going to focus on in this particular video, is putting that graduations on. Mr. Pete used aluminum for this. I'm going to use a piece of brass. I like the way that brass and steel look together, especially when the steel is polished up and the brass has got a little bit of polish on it. I like that look. That's what I'm going for. the adjustment dial machine down. It is exactly 750 thousandths. Get a hold of it. 750 thousandths, right on the money. Alright, now the hard part and the fun part. This is my new dividing head. This is the first time I've ever had it out of the plastic and mounted on something. Okay, just a short lesson in math for the dividing head. My particular dividing head is 40 revolutions of the hand wheel equals 1 full turn. So it would be 40 over the number of graduations that I want it to have. I'm going to put 50 graduations on it. So 40 over 50. I can reduce this fraction by getting rid of the zeros, dividing both by 10 equals 4/5. I do not have a dividing plate with 5 on it, but I do have a dividing plate with 20. So 5 is divisible, or 20 is divisible by 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So 4, whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 4 times 4 is 16, and that equals... Here is my dividing plate here. The number of holes is goes with the circumference based on the diameter from the center out to this spacing here. First one is 15, then 16, and then 20 is the outside number. I have my pin set to go into 20. Let's see that pin. This is just a retractable pin. This is a divider. I've got it set to 16 holes, or 16 spaces. What I've done is I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If I cut this one, I move it around all the way, and then I bring this to the 16th hole or 16th space and make my second cut. Let's get started. This is just a piece of high-speed steel 1/4-inch drill. I have sharpened the other end to a point. I'm going to turn that point towards the work. I need to get it as straight by my calibrated eyeball as possible. I have a 5/1000 feeler gauge right here. I'm going to bring it down until that feeler gauge just grabs and slides. I know that that's 5/1000 above the work right there. Come down 5/1000, right at 10/1000. Alright. Next I need to zero my x-axis so that I can repeat my steps. Again, I'm going to use my calibrated eyeball as long as every piece that I do, every cut that I make is the same distance for the length of cut that it's supposed to be. Here goes cut number 1. This is going to come in 300 thousandths. I went 200, 260, 270, 80, 90, and 300. Bring it back out. There's cut 1. Back over here. Okay, I've already set my divider. I'm going to move 1 full length, move my divider around, ready for the next cut. This is going to be 150 thousandths. I want it to be exactly half. There we go with 100, 20, 30, 40, and 150 thousandths. Bring it back out. Put my dial. I am on my fifth cut. Every fifth cut is a 300 thousandths long cut, and an easy way for me to remember this, and it just so happens that the math worked out this way, because I'm using the 20 hole pattern and we're skipping every 16th hole, every fifth cut lands back at our starting point with our dividers. Worked out great. It helps me remember and pay attention to where we're needing to do the 300 thousandths cut. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to mess up or make that mistake, but it does help. Number 4. And let's see if we lined up. It is a moment of truth. And it is just cleaning out the cut that I made originally. Outstanding, I like it. Worked out fantastic. It's got some burrs. A little bit of emery paper, we'll take that off. Looks fantastic. I am extremely pleased with the results. Probably the nicest thing I've made thus far using these machines. I've made some things that I enjoy, things that I like, but this is by far the most precision. The fact that I got this exactly 750 thousandths wide, chasing those zeros, that's what I started doing, and I enjoy it. It's very calming and relaxing to me. Here, turned out fantastic.